Hello and welcome to Yogi.com. This is Mukul and in this session I will explain about power of attorney. A power of attorney is an important legal document when you want to hand over certain financial or personal decisions to another individual. And you must be really careful when you are signing such a document. In this video I will explain all you should know about power of attorney and will also tell you certain precautions that you should take when you are signing a power of attorney. So make sure that you watch the video till the end and not miss on these useful tips. Now without any further ado, let's get started.
In this video, I will be talking about power of attorney and how to handle this important document properly. We will start with what is power of attorney and then go on to why it is required, types of power of attorneys, legal status, and then we will also talk about drawbacks and precautions related to this document. Now, let us start with what is power of attorney. As you can see, I have made a small, in fact I have just tried to make a small document here. Maybe it resembles a power of attorney. It's a stamp paper and few signatures over here. So it is basically a legal document through which a person authorizes another person to take financial or personal decisions. And the person who authorizes is called as principal, and the person who gets the authority to execute certain tasks is called as the agent. Sometimes this principal is also known as grantor. Let me write over here, grantor. And the agent is also known as grantee. Another name for the principal is donor. And for agent, another name is attorney. So all these names mean the same. In fact, I have tried to make a small drawing over here. This is the principal, this is the agent, and principal is giving the power of attorney to the agent for a certain specified task. Now this task can be either to take care of financial decisions or personal decisions, as we will see as we go along in this video. Now, why power of attorney is required? Let's go down. I have noted down a few reasons. Now, the first reason can be that the principal is physically handicapped. For example, if the principal is not keeping well due to health issues, he can appoint an agent who can take decisions on his behalf. The second reason can be that the principal cannot travel. Let's take an example here. For example, if the principal stays in, let's say, Australia, and he has a property in India, let's say India. What he can do is he can appoint an agent in India who can be his trustworthy person, either a relative or a friend in India, to sell off his property. So the P will give power of attorney to A in India to sell his property. Sell property. Right. Now, another reason for power of attorney can be, suppose a person is too busy to handle certain tasks. This can happen in businesses. For example, if the business owner is quite busy in handling many other tasks, he can give a power of attorney to handle a particular task to an employee. Another reason can be that the principal is an elderly person. He may not be able to take certain personal or financial decisions on his own. So the elderly person can either appoint a relative, his children, or friends who can take care of his needs. Now, a power of attorney can cover a wide variety of responsibilities, as we have just now seen. The responsibilities can include money management, property and estate management, personal care, especially for elderly people, and business matters as well. Now, depending on the authority given to the agent, the power of attorney can be classified as either a general power of attorney or a special power of attorney. Let us go down a little bit and see. So types of power of attorneys can be broadly classified into general and special. Now let us go into a bit more detail as to what is a general power of attorney and what is a special power of attorney. A general power of attorney is a broad document that can be used by the principal to authorize agent to take multiple responsibilities. The multiple responsibilities can be to conduct all affairs related to business or real estate, or it can also include personal care also. So that is a very broad document. Now, what is a special power of attorney? A special power of attorney is given to execute a particular task by the agent. For example, if the principal wants to sell off a property and he wants to appoint an agent only for this particular task, he can sign a special power of attorney for this particular job. Now, this brings us to our next point. Who can create a power of attorney? Let us go down a little bit. Who can create a power of attorney? Well, the answer is quite simple. Only a mentally sound person can create a power of attorney. And a mentally incapacitated person cannot create a power of attorney. And even if such a power of attorney is created by some means, it will be held invalid in courts of law. I've tried to make a small mentally sound person and a mentally incapacitated person. May not be the best possible sketches, but yeah, I've tried to do my job. And now coming back to our point, a person can create a power of attorney only if he is mentally sound. But what happens if the principal loses sound mental ability after the power of attorney has been executed? So let me write down here. If the principal loses mental ability after power of attorney has been executed, well, in this case also the power of attorney will become invalid. So what can happen if the principal wants that the power of attorney remains valid even when he becomes mentally incapacitated? Well, in that case, there is a special power of attorney that can be signed, which is called as durable power of attorney. Let me write down here. A special power of attorney can be signed in this case. It is called as durable power of attorney. So a durable power of attorney is specially useful for elderly people who can foresee that their health may deteriorate in near future and they want to authorize a trustworthy person to take care of them and their financial affairs. So they should go for durable power of attorney. And what happens in cases where a person is already incapacitated and has not executed a durable power of attorney earlier? Well, in that case, the only way for another person to act on his behalf is to have a court impose a conservatorship or guardianship. So basically the relatives or his trustworthy people have to go to the court to take permission to act on his behalf. Now let us talk a little bit about the legal status of power of attorney. Let us go down a little bit. So a power of attorney will be considered legal at least if it is signed and dated by the principal. This is the minimum condition required. And in some jurisdictions it is also supposed to be notarized. However, it is a good practice that you should get your power of attorney signed by a public notary. So it is always a good practice. I will write good practice here, but may not be the compulsion in all jurisdictions. Now let us go to our next point, which is validity and duration. Let us go down a little bit. Validity and duration. Although the validity rules for power of attorney may vary slightly depending on the jurisdiction, broadly a power of attorney becomes invalid when either the specified task is completed. For example, if the task in the power of attorney was to sell property by the agent and the property is sold, the task gets completed and the power of attorney becomes invalid. And a power of attorney can also be revoked by principal, let me do it again, by principal or agent in writing. So in writing, this is important here. a written notice has to be given either by the principal or agent that they are revoking the power of attorney. And another point is validity period is over. If the validity period is mentioned in the power of attorney, and if the period is over, the power of attorney becomes invalid after that. And another point can be the principal becomes incapacitated. We have discussed this earlier. Suppose the principal becomes mentally incapacitated or bankrupt, or if he dies, again the power of attorney becomes invalid. It also becomes invalid in case of a divorce or legal separation if the principal has named his spouse as his agent. So only in that case the power of attorney will become invalid. Now this brings us to our last point in this session, which is basically a word of caution. There are drawbacks to almost everything in this world, and power of attorney is no exception. And the biggest drawback of a power of attorney is the misuse by the agent. The document can act as a proxy to steal money from the principal. The agent may also use the document to transfer property and other assets to himself or to a third party, who knows, without the knowledge of principal. So if you are signing a power of attorney and authorizing a person to carry out certain tasks, you have to be extremely careful. So you can take care of certain things. The first can be that you have to appoint an honest and trustworthy person. Believe me, this is a very important point over here, that you have to appoint only a trustworthy person, be it your relative or a friend or whoever you know. He has to be absolutely trustworthy. And the second point is that you have to be very careful when you are drafting the power of attorney. You have to pay particular attention to all the clauses written in the document. I'm writing over here. You should sit with your lawyer, pay particular attention to each and every clause, and don't give unnecessary powers to the agent. If you have to assign an agent for a particular job, you sign a special power of attorney and not a general power of attorney. Because if you sign a general power of attorney, you are giving almost unlimited powers to the agent. So whatever the job is, you have to give power of attorney for that particular job. That's all in this session. I think I have covered all major points related to power of attorney, and hopefully you will be able to handle this document in a much better way.
Thank you for watching this video. Hope you liked it. If you did, please like and share from below. If you want to suggest a topic for future videos, please write in the comment section, and don't forget to subscribe because we are putting way more videos just like this. Don't forget, subscribe. You really don't want to miss out on our latest real estate and investing tips that we share every week. See you guys in next video.